All right, Dylan. How's it going so far, bro?
Shit, you said New York? Shit is chilling, bro. A lot of people, a lot of bits, a lot of baddies. But shit is cool. I feel like it's different from Atlanta. Cause like there's like dedicated spots like this. I guess just all over.
Facts.
Are we allowed to?
With the video from Story Gallery. Yeah. So I'll start again. The show is miking up. Yeah. I do this with my artists. Yeah, I should be doing this with you. This is Jim Clark, by the way. He's the professor of these students who I work with, and I went to their studios. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name. Raphael. Karina. Nice to meet you.
Dylan.
Dylan, nice to meet you. Okay, Raphael. So welcome to Helm Contemporary. So Helm Contemporary is 2 years old, and we're starting this year with this SVA MFA program. And they're up for a week. They just opened yesterday. The show is called Where Time Ticks, and it's about time, nostalgia, the passing through, because a lot of the students are actually passing through New York doing their Masters in Fine Arts, and they happen to be studying under this gentleman that you see here in the space, Jim Clark, and they're SBA. So I went to each one of these students' studios and picked something that represents time. For each student is very different. The mediums are different. You have painting, sculpture, conceptual work in the space right now. We can start with the middle, and those are, and Dewan, he is doing sugar cubes. They're representative of the development and construction that never stops in China, where he's from. The cinder blocks are the basic foundation, and then you have the cubes representing kind of time. So the cubes at the base of the tower are darker and more condensed, whereas the newer ones represent, contemporary development in China. And sugar, why sugar cubes versus using plastic or glass, is because sugar is a commodity. So really interesting how he thought everything through. And then behind you are 4 paintings. The first one to the left is Evan. Evan is an American artist who works a lot with acrylics on canvas, but then he creates the framing as part of the piece. To the right of Evan is Alexandra. There's a smaller study of the acrylic on canvas and the larger piece. And those two also represent time for her because it's layer after layer after layer. And it's just the passage of time through the layering. To the right of it is Yena. She's a female artist, also from China. And she is basically showing dualities. So Yena has a different type of personality as an artist in Asia, as well as the one represented here in the States. So there's 2 Yenas in there. In that pocket that you see over there, you have a conceptual piece by Vicky. Vicky, raised by 2 parents who are artists. One was a pianist, the other one was an artist and a painter. And she said that very strict household in China. If you can get close to the desk, there are scratches on the desk that she said is her nonconformity to being so disciplined in China, as well as the little cabinet that you see on the right. That little cabinet is meant to be opened. And you can see how all the pieces kind of have this arrangement, and the arrangement comes off, and there's like a lack of order. So everything's like super orderly. I wish you could see it, but you can't. And everything's like super well thought out. So it's well closed unless you put it in order. And the same thing with the fish hooks that you see here. The fish hooks are meant so that it's unapproachable. Like instead of being a normal hanger, they're like super sharp, so you can't approach her so well because she's isolated as a child in the one-child policy in China. And then you have Andrew, American artist. he's using childhood nostalgia again, time, and you can recognize the what looks like Care Bears, and so he's using those borders to frame a shirt that was his, and that's the artwork. And then over here you have Evan again, Evan who is doing the drop frame for his artwork, and Evan's little piece within the piece is kind of actually a little bit of vulnerability. There's a he mentioned to me that that motif, the little red motif that you see in the middle, is actually the way he represents anxiety. And so some of the paintings that I saw of his had tons of those starbursts, and I thought they were like fun to look at. And he said, actually, it's my anxiety. So it's nice that a lot of the artists are sharing, like childhood trauma or even anxiety in some of the things that they consider as, a passage of time or like getting out of that. And then over here, there's two more pieces left. This is Yi, and Yi is also from China. And Yi has this containment of the piece that I saw in his studio. So the piece actually looks like that when it's installed. But it's great that he put it on a printout because the printout is meant to document. So you know how Instagram documents your moments in time? So he wanted to do that. So he's documenting a moment in time by capturing it on the printout. So there's the artist's name, the hashtag of what it is, the time that it was printed. So it's a documentation of time. And then to your right, you have 4 seasons. So this is a Korean artist, also a student at SVA, and he's doing the winter, spring, summer, and fall. And you can see some images through the oil painting. It's on a canvas, and you can see the images. They are photo printed, so they're photo transferred. But he goes over them and paints over them. And then this last one also is, this one's really cool. This one is the same artist of the horse, but her name is I Ching. She's also a student, and she's finishing up her last year at SVA. I Ching, if you get close up to it, I Ching is using ashes. So she went to a Buddhist temple, and in the Buddhist temple, they have ash, the incense sticks, and the ashes is what she's putting on the canvas. Then she goes in and paints over the ashes. So it's like signifying time passing because the ashes take a while to kind of like drop. So, and then these are eggshells created by hand. They're not real eggshells. They're created by hand and paper and another artist. Again, accumulation of time and just the commodity of waste. Yeah, of course.